People are saying that JHope might be dating after the new stream and they want Dispatch to speak. The K-media runs a smear campaign against T.O.P, and then we have JHope getting robbed during his recent live stream. Say dumplings, it's Dave Disci. Let's get into it. We are starting to see the boys come back a little bit, and some of the members are already doing some of the activities that we were hoping to see more of when they came back, which of course is them being silly and doing more live streams. Recently we saw Jin and JHope on a live stream together. They were being really cute and they were just decorating Christmas trees for some of it. And people were very excited to see them get into the holiday spirit because of course, why not do that? We got to see a little bit of their banter as well as get to see what they wanted to decorate the tree with. So ideally they're decorating the tree with something that is of their personality and of their aesthetic. And then at the end, they wanted to just add one more finishing touch, and Jin decided to add his necklace that he was wearing, which was very subtle, quiet luxury type of necklace, and he put it on the tree, and then they were going to exchange trees. He did that, and JHope immediately was like, oh, should I put something on the tree too, since Jin was giving him something with the necklace on it. So of course, JHope then decided to put something on his own tree as a finishing touch. This was more so like what we would consider a star, and it's like their metaphorical star. JHope decided to put his watch on the tree, which if you're unaware, he is currently the ambassador of Piguet. Piguet watches can range anywhere from $30,000 to well over $100,000. So these are on the higher end of the luxury scale and more luxurious than Rolexes. So of course, when JHope and Jin switch trees, Jin couldn't help but snatch the watch off of the tree, and people were basically saying that Jin has decided to steal the watch and that JHope was robbed. I think this is hilarious because I think to some degree, people feel that celebrities and rich people aren't fully aware that they are rich, and they tend to think that the stuff they buy is normal. So the fact that Jin is fully aware that the watch is an expensive item and it's not just something that random people can afford, it's absolutely hilarious and so funny. I think it actually makes this moment so much more relatable. I love watching these two together, and I am hoping that when the other members come out of the military, maybe we can see a stream every day or at least a few every week. It's also so cool and refreshing to see the dynamic between the two that have not changed. They've been apart for well over a year, and when they came back together to do the stream as one of their first activities together, their chemistry is exactly the same. There isn't any difference, and if anything, they're just as lovable as they ever were together. I do wonder if they both had lunch or dinner prior to this to catch up and make sure that they got a refresher together. You know, those people who you never see, but maybe like once a year, when you do see them, you're a little worried that there wouldn't be anything in common, but then when you do come together, it's like you never left. That's what I'm talking about here. Although the two could have a completely different experience with each other, and it's not like that at all. And by the way, if you want to join me and the dumpling community in reacting to cute and fun BTS moments and music, then make sure you check out the link in the description. There's over 1,000 videos there, and any tier will give you access to it. So if you're interested, please check it out, and I hope to see you over there. But that's not the only thing that has been in the news lately. If you're not aware, recently the new Squid Game Season 2 just dropped, and people are very excited or not. The reviews are definitely very mixed. For instance, the situation with T.O.P has been very interesting. People are saying that T.O.P's acting was bad, but many people noticed how strange these reviews or news sites or news articles were, because apparently the episode in which he was in dropped around 5 p.m. and the reviews were dropped at 5:01. Many people were saying that it seemed they wrote the article ahead of time anticipating a bad performance rather than it being a bad performance, and so they were going to write that without watching it, regardless of whether T.O.P was amazing or not. I haven't watched it yet, so I can't say, but I highly doubt they would cast him if he was bad. Now, I want to clarify that reviewers and critics are often given a pre-screening before the public can see the show. However, the reason I do not think that these people that wrote the article were given a pre-screening is because then it would have dropped the day before and likely wouldn't be as harsh as if they were to criticize super harshly. They would not be given access to see anything before it goes public ever again. So before anyone says it was dropped a minute after the release because the critics saw it before, I don't think that that is true. The thing is, haters will use these reviews as a way to take down or knock down a K-pop star, and they would say, look, so-and-so's reviews say they're bad, so they're bad. And they would say this even if they watched and even if they thought it was good, just because they want to find a reason to hate. Now, these smear campaigns can definitely be sued. I think if it goes any further and they are so bad that it causes him to lose out on more acting deals or causing him to lose out on more money, then he could definitely sue these news sites for doing that, because what they're doing is definitely defamatory, especially dropping an article 1 minute after the release of the show, knowing that it would be extremely bad and it was trying to ruin his reputation. I think it's very interesting with these things because a lot of times with Western media, they're usually not so biased. Usually they'll kind of wait to see what the general reaction is and they'll make their reaction, which is why oftentimes in Western media, you see a complete flip in what their narrative says. One day only bad things and the next day it's only positive. Well, apparently in K-media, they just take a narrative and stick with it. They're like, everyone doesn't like T.O.P, let's always report negatively until he dies. Because I just find it very hard to believe that his acting would be bad. That is not a thing that would happen. These K-pop stars are trained. It's one of those things where if people are told his acting or performance is bad, they'll just think it's bad. I mean, like, try this with a kid. Play a Beyonce song and say that that's bad singing. They will actually believe it, and eventually they'll start covering their ears when they hear her. And as we grow older, we believe the media in the same way. It's all unconscious, and I do it too. A lot of the dating rumors that start happen like this as well, especially the dating rumors involving the BTS members. Recently, JHope had a dating rumor, and it didn't help that JHope recently was on a live stream. The live stream didn't expose anything because I actually don't believe JHope is dating, but people were saying that you could hear a woman or that he is looking at his lover off camera, because sometimes on their streams they look past the camera and they sometimes appear like they're talking to someone. For this, you have to understand and keep in mind that the boys often have a team when they live stream. It's not just that they turn on the camera and stream. They have to pick the right backdrop, they have to set everything up so it's cute, and they have to also use very expensive cameras to stream, which is why the quality is so good. Now, there's been people who are saying that JHope is dating Irene Kim. This rumor has been going on for quite some time, and the rumors are just of them like wearing similar clothes or them dancing in a similar way, things like that. There were even people that were saying that when Dispatch decides to release their annual dating report, they're going to release that Irene and JHope are dating. And I think this is absolutely hilarious, actually, because I don't think that it makes any sense. How are you going to say that Dispatch would announce this without there being any actual proof? Sometimes these things are interesting because the idols know what the community rumors to be dating. Like, they know what would cause the community to think of a dating rumor, meaning that they're hyper aware that if two people wear the same clothes or if they're just seen in one photograph ever, that people will think that they're dating. So if two people are dating, they will make an effort to never be seen together, or definitely not frequently. For example, if G-Dragon and Jennie were actually dating, we had never seen a photo of them together beforehand, only when they were both much younger. So people really didn't know that they were together, and it was really never even a thought. It's very rare that it's who we think it is. And another reason this is the case is because we don't know what their type is and what they find attractive. They can say what they like during an interview, but would they be honest? Probably not. Most K-pop idols would likely only want to date another Korean person. This has nothing to do with them hating other races, but it has something to do with parental approval and that racism does still exist in Asia. And then especially if they are queer and not straight, and they definitely don't want to talk about that or confess their interests on a show. So be aware that what they say might not actually be who they would want to date. If you see what idols say on shows and then compare it to who they're actually dating, you'll see a big difference. So who you think that they're dating based on their type is probably not true. People can also change their type based on if they find someone really sweet and other redeemable qualities that they didn't know that they would like. Bottom line is, I don't think Dispatch will say anything about JHope, and I definitely do not think it would be with Irene. Let me know what you think. Make sure to check out Patreon for more videos, link down below. Thanks, just leave a comment right here. Love you, bye.